Hello, this is QuickSkillz, and today we're going to be going over what I think is a great Christmas present for 2024. This is the Super Console X4 Pro. This is a device that I have reviewed on my channel, so be sure to look for it if you are interested in a review of this device. But I love this retro console. It comes loaded with a ton of emulators and ROMs with all the configuration done for you, so all you have to do is plug it into your TV and plug in the included controllers. One thing that I like is that it is USB connected for these controllers, so if you have some gaming controllers at home, you can connect them to this device and use those instead. However, I have been using the included controllers for these systems and they work just fine as well. Another thing that I love about this is that it comes loaded with NES games, Super Nintendo games, Game Gear, arcade beat-em-up games, so X-Men, Simpsons, Ninja Turtles. Those are all going to be included in this device. You can see I'm booting up Mario on the NES. It is so easy to jump from one game to the next. I'm going to try not to lose to this first Goomba, but as you can see here, I am playing Mario on the Super Console X4 Pro. This device is so cheap and affordable. I am surprised I never purchased one sooner, but this has everything that I would have wanted to have as a 10-year-old, but now it is mine and I'm able to play it, and when I'm done playing it, I can jump to another game within seconds. So this is all taken in continuous time. So we just played a Nintendo game, let's jump over to a Super Nintendo game, and I'll just select one at random. Here we have Real Monsters. This was a game that I loved playing at home when I was a kid, and you can see it is booting up. Very easy to switch from one console to the next. So if you're looking for a gift this year for 2024, the Super Console X4 Pro is typically going to run you around $60 to $80. So if you see it somewhere in that range, go ahead and buy it. The included controllers are very decent, and go wireless if you can, because that's going to give you a lot of range. If you go with the wired controllers, you're going to have to sit very close to your console, but if you go with the wireless, it comes with these adapters that plug right into your device, and you will be able to sit further away from the TV. So be sure to keep that in mind when making your purchase. Also, I prefer to go with the 256 gig micro SD card. However, there are smaller micro SD cards, but if you want to make sure that you have a ton of ROMs and emulators included, be sure to get the biggest SD card that you can, and that's 256. There's also different modes, different plugs. So if you're in Europe, you're going to have to get the Europe plug. I currently have the US plug because that is where I am located. But as you can see here, we booted up Super Mario on the NES, and then we loaded up Real Monsters on the Super Nintendo. Now we're just switching over to another console. Here we have Game Boy Advance. Let's just jump into a game. I'm just going to pick one at random. I just don't want to pick one of these that are the 2-in-1s. So here we have The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron booting up. This is all in real time, continuous. You can see here we have the Game Boy Advance loaded up on the screen. Jimmy Neutron. This is such a great gift for someone between the ages of 10 and I'd say adulthood, because you could give this to a 40-year-old. They're going to be able to jump in and play games from their childhood, but also you could give this to a 10-year-old and they can learn a few things about how gaming was back in the day, how hard things were, and what graphical limitations we had to deal with when playing these games. But I think there's a lot of value in this device, and you can see here I have Jimmy Neutron on the screen. Never played this game before, so I'm just kind of clicking through as we go through it. Be sure to leave me a comment if you have any questions about this device. If you do purchase one and you have any troubleshooting questions at all, just drop me a comment. A ton of people do that, and I'll make a video on it if it's something complicated, or if it's easy, I'll just drop you a comment right there with the answer to your question. If there's a particular game or console you want to make sure works before you purchase this, just drop me a comment and I'll check and see if it's working for me. But this is a device that I have owned for just about 8 months now, and I haven't had any complaints. There are a ton of different ways to configure this device so that it is to your style and liking, but it is also very easy to kind of mess with the settings to where things are a little bit complicated. So be sure that you know what you're doing before you make any changes to your device. However, you will not need to make any changes to just start playing. You can just play it just the way it is. You can see here we have Sega 32X, Sega CD, Dreamcast, Naomi. Naomi are arcade style games from the early 2000s. A lot of these are going to work, but some of them might not work, so keep that in mind that some of these games just won't work right out of the box. We have the Neo Geo, so all the Metal Slugs are in here. We have soccer games like Goal, Goal, Goal. These are arcade style, so when the game loads up, you actually have to push select to give yourself a credit and then start to start the game. We're going to go ahead and jump into this Neo Geo game, Goal, Goal, Goal. It's a very fun soccer game. So here we go, we're putting in credits, I'm pushing start. This tutorial isn't going to make a lot of sense because your controller is not going to match their controller on the screen, but let's go ahead and jump right into it. And now you can see I am playing an arcade style Neo Geo game, and so all the Metal Slugs are on the Neo Geo, but you can see here we're playing the game. Let's see if we can score a goal real quick. Pass it, kick it. Ooh, that was a nice defense. Okay, so let's jump over to another console. Just want to show you, there's over 100,000 games on here. There are going to be some duplicates, so it's not 100,000 unique games. So look, we have Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Color, PlayStation. On the lower left-hand side of the screen, you can see there's 685 PlayStation games, and that's a pretty complete collection. I'm sure there's going to be one or two that's missing, but you can see here over 600 games. I do want to caution you, I did have a little bit of difficulty with N64 games, so not all of them are going to work, but some of the ones that I like, such as Zelda, that one worked fine, but there are like Super Mario 64, that one tends to have a hard time booting up. Pokemon Snap, that was another one that was pretty hard to emulate out of this console. So keep in mind that if you are buying this for N64 games, some of them are going to work just fine, and others aren't going to work as well. So that's pretty much an overview of the Super Console X4 Pro. So be sure to leave me a comment if you're thinking about buying this. I love this device. I think that if you buy it, you're going to get a lot of uses out of this.